Grass seed contamination of the carcass is very common in South Australia, I think, and for that matter nationally. It represents something like $50 million a year annual loss to the sheep industry, associated with a number of different grasses. So it can be spear grass, brome grass, barley grass, silver grass, wild geranium, Chilean needle grass. So there's a whole lot of different penetrating grass seeds that can cause problems. So what happens is the grass seeds lodge in the wool, and within a day or two they've worked themselves in through the lining of the skin and result in a significant irritation. So as little as 25 grass seeds can cause a significant production loss. Apart from causing significant irritation, and so it's probably a bit like us having a toothache or a headache, that puts the animal off grazing or eating, and so they can once again lose several kilograms in growth rate over time. Grass seeds often also cause infections to track in with the grass seed through the skin, so you end up with abscesses, probably not dissimilar to, for example, cheesy gland, but some of those abscesses may appear different because it's an infection associated with grass seeds. The primary welfare issue is that as little as 25 grass seeds per sheep can cause significant irritation, pain, discomfort and suffering. If they keep penetrating, they can also cause internal abscesses as well. That's why we see a lot of production loss, and of course it also results in significant carcass trimming when those animals go to slaughter. In some ways they're a bit like cheesy gland in that it's an inapparent infection most of the time. You might see the lambs or for that matter adult sheep showing discomfort. It's not generally something that people pick up on, in that it causes significant irritation, rubbing. So you may see the animals have chewed their wool or rubbed, and which would normally be associated with a lice infestation, but it could be grass seeds. Producers should recognise that a paddock is seedy. A lot of grass seeds around if livestock are in that paddock. And two, I guess the feedback from the abattoirs. So sometimes people will send off a ute load of lambs, for example, for a sample slaughtering to see if there's any evidence of grass seeds, and that will determine whether they can then send off a larger consignment. That sample consignment may be the first way it might be recognised.
Grass seeds present on the carcass always on the outside, and they range from minor grass seeds to infected grass seeds, which is considered a pathological condition. For the process of the impact of grass seeds is that they have to severely trim all the outside of the carcass, which basically ruins nearly all of the primal cuts that they're going to try and recover. For the producer, the impact on this carcass is that he will get less weight over the scales because of the heavy trimming. The carcass will be downgraded, so he won't get paid the premium price for it. The inspectors are trained to look for the presence of grass seeds, and in particular infected grass seeds, all of which go onto the retained veil to be trimmed out before it goes over the scales.
Our experience with grass seeds on this property is that they can be an issue every year if you're not vigilant on what you do. So we've employed a lot of different tactics to try and beat grass seeds. We do a lot of physical slashing. We try and shear at seed drop and manage lambs so that they're not on seed when it's flying, because that period for us of 8 weeks from seed drop through to just after Christmas are murder on lambs. So unless you're really vigilant, you can have issues. We haven't had issues here for 20 years, but it's certainly come up in the enhanced abattoir surveillance prior to that. The underlying condition of cost in seed infiltration in the sheep's carcass can be as high as $25 to $30 a head, depending on the weight of your carcass. Yeah, that's painful when you think you're sending off clean lambs.
There are a range of management options for dealing with grass seeds. It may be a case of heavy grazing before seed set. For example, typically barley grass or silver grass doesn't have a chance to set seed, so you're reducing the risk that way. It may be just a case of avoiding seedy paddocks where we do know that there's a lot of the common grasses present. Otherwise, you may change your management to lamb earlier so that the lambs can be turned off before grass seeds become a problem. So, for example, you may be turning your lambs off in September, early October, before grass seeds become an issue. The next step is perhaps talking to your agronomist and looking at herbicides to control grass seeds by spraying it out, preventing grass seed set. You can also look at fertiliser regimes where you're encouraging the more productive non-seedy grasses to get a better foothold in the paddock. That might be including perennials if you've got that option. In terms of treatment, there's really no options for grass seeds. As I say, often it's an inapparent infection because it's covered by the wool. You won't see it until the skin and the wool's taken off, and you'll see the grass seeds penetrating the carcass. And you might see some micro abscissation or abscesses in the skin, but really there's little point in an antibiotic treatment at that stage because it's already too late.
Having grass seed infestation in livestock is not very nice, and certainly dealing with it afterwards is not nice either. Having to shear bellies and jowls off sheep that are just absolutely loaded with seed is not much fun, and it's certainly not much fun for the lamb or sheep either.